Hi everyone, it's Rachel from Wraps by Rachel. And I wanted to do a follow-up video to the first video that I did about Lumen and talking about my Lumen journey and losing weight and what all of this means to me. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. Please leave a comment. I want to know what you think. I want to know comments about what I have to say. I'm really interested to interact with you as long as it's positive, right? We all know that there's a bunch of people out there on the internet and out on YouTube who just love to leave nasty comments and just be rude. And I'll just delete it. You know, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I'll just delete it and move on. But now that I had that little rant. Anyhow, so I'm going to talk about Lumen, and this is the Lumen device. It comes in a little carrying case, and it's just a little device like this, and it kind of reminds me of, you know, I jokingly say it's my kazoo, and you turn it on, and it is Bluetooth and it interacts with your phone. Now I'm recording on my phone, so I can't show you some of those interactive features, and honestly I just can't figure out how to record something using my computer and then uploading it to my phone. And you know, that's probably a statement more about me. I'm 52 years old, very proud to say that. I've earned every single one of these 52 years. Anyhow, if you don't know my story, I had lost 100 pounds with diet and exercise. That was about 10, 12 years ago, and kept it off for quite a while. And then I had a series of catastrophic health crises that happened. I had a bunch of surgeries. I went through a divorce. I was told for several years I wasn't allowed to exercise because I was really, really sick. Anyhow, the point being, I had gained the majority, not all of it. I gained about 75 pounds or so of that weight back. And now I am in the process of losing it again, okay? So I started doing what I was doing before, right? The last time when I lost 100 pounds, and it took me about a year and a half to lose that 100 pounds. I was a mom with younger kids. I was working full time. I was not in a happy marriage, but I was working out. I took up running. I became a marathon runner. And over a year and a half, I lost that 100 pounds. And while I was doing that, I was following what's called a 40-30-30. And that means that I was doing 40% of my calories a day were from carbohydrates, 30% from fat, and 30% from protein. And I was doing, depending on how much I was going to be exercising for that day, about 1,800 to 2,000 calories a day. Again, I was a marathon runner, so I was exercising pretty hard on most days, either running or doing weightlifting or something sort of related to that. So when I started this journey again, kind of towards the beginning of this year, I started doing what I did before, and that was the 40-30-30 with about 1,800 calories a day. And I started slowly working out, and I lost a little bit of weight, but the weight was not, it wasn't moving. You know, I lost maybe 20 pounds over about 6 months. And that's great, right? Because I lost about 20 pounds, but I was not happy because I'm like, why isn't this weight just kind of coming off the way that it did before? Well, you know, stubborn me, I'm 12 years older, okay? And my life circumstances are different, and I'm older, okay? So here I am, I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm kind of getting frustrated. And most people who are in a weight loss journey can certainly empathize with this. So I started getting some advertisements on my YouTube when I would watch about a product called Lumen, and it was this device, and it helps you to learn about your body and helps you hack your metabolism and figure out what you're burning, and helps to guide you so that you can meet your goals. And different people use this. Some people use it to lose weight. Some people who are like high level athletes use it as a way to figure out how to optimize their nutrition so that they can do better performance for, being an Olympic athlete, being a competitive sports person, that sort of thing. And other people are using it just to kind of, just for insight into what their body is, not necessarily looking to lose weight or things along those lines. And I thought that this was really fascinating. And I say it with a smile, what I didn't like was that it was about a $300 device, which is a lot of money, and not knowing, is this going to work for me? This is a lot of money if it's not going to work, if it's, if it's just a piece of crap, that sort of thing. But I am a real person. Okay. I'm a real person. I live a real life. I am remarried, a marriage number 2, and I work full time, and I work long hours in a hospital. I lead a pretty busy life, and probably behind me, there's, part of my cat laying on my bed there. I have a cat. I have partial custody of a dog, which is a whole, other story. So sometimes I have a dog in my life. I lead a very, very busy life, and money is tight. So $300 is a lot of money. But I kept seeing these various advertisements, and I was just like, you know what? If I hired a personal trainer for, I don't know, 10 sessions or something, it would cost me more than $300 to do that. So it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna kind of budget my money, and I'm gonna go ahead and invest in myself, and I'm gonna invest in my Lumen. Okay, so what you do with this is, and the more you use it, the more the Lumen learns about you and can help fine tune what you are doing. And that's the part that's really interesting. So when I wake up in the morning, about a half an hour after I wake up, I turn my Lumen on. And then it says, okay, hey, good morning. We're going to be doing this morning reading. And you do a deep breath in. And I went to high school and I went to college. And I'll be honest and say, yeah, I've smoked marijuana. Okay. So sucking in and then blowing out with the Lumen, it's kind of like doing a really big hit of marijuana. Okay. Yeah, it's illegal in a lot of places now, right? Anyhow, so you take this and you breathe in, kind of like this. You follow the guide for how long you're doing the in-breath, and then you hold your breath. You hold your breath for about 10 seconds, and it gives you this little countdown that says, okay, you're gonna breathe out into the Lumen in 3, 2, 1, and then you breathe out and kind of like this. Right? And you're keeping your breath within a certain little, it's kind of like an incentometer. Like if you have asthma, or if you've been hospitalized and you have to kind of breathe into this little thing, you keep the gauge in a certain place. So the gauge is on your phone. So you breathe in with the gauge, you hold your breath, you breathe out with the gauge. And sometimes it'll get your measurement in one breath. Usually it's in 2, okay? And it gives you about 30 seconds or so in between the breaths. So you're like, okay, we're waiting to do our second breath. And then you go ahead and do that. And then what it does is this, I'm holding it up here. So this little screen kind of thing, and then something with whatever's inside of this device, it literally reads the it reads, sorry about that, it reads the carbon dioxide percentage that is in your breath. And it is learning about you. It takes about 2 weeks to really kind of fine tune it. But and again, the more that it does it, the more it kind of learns you. But it reads the carbon dioxide in your breath, and then it can tell you, are you burning carbohydrates? Are you burning fat? Or are you burning some percentage thereof? So a number 1 means you're burning all fat. Number 2 means you're burning mostly fat. Number 3 means you're burning a combination of fat and carbohydrates. 4, mostly carbs. 5, all carbs, okay? And it'll give you a reading. And the idea is that in the morning, about a half an hour after you've woken up, ideally the goal is for you to have a number 1 or number 2, okay? Number 3 is not bad, right? But you definitely want to be burning more fat than you want to be burning carbohydrates in the morning. And what that means is that after 6 hours plus of having had rest, your body should burn through the carbs and then should shift into burning your fat stores, okay? And over time, as you get more fat adapted, as you get more metabolically flexible, then you are burning more and more fat, especially during the night and first thing in the morning before you have broken your fast, okay? So then you also do readings, and it's totally up to you, but the first thing in the morning, that's the most important one, okay? Later in the day, you can do this as many times as you want. You can, it encourages you to do, I'm sweating because it's really hot and humid, and it opened up the window to let the light in so that I get a little more natural light. Yeah, so again, I'm a real person, right? I do things like I sweat, right? Anyhow, so when you do these other readings during the day, so ideally you would want to take a reading before you eat, okay? And then you would want to do a reading about a half an hour after you finish eating. And that then helps you to determine how well are you processing the food that you have eaten, okay? So if I eat a meal that's like totally carbohydrates, I'm expecting to be burning carbohydrates. I should still be metabolizing that, right? If I eat a meal that was kind of low carb, maybe I want my number to be like a 3, okay? Because I want to be burning part fat and part carbs. I would not want to be a number 1 after I've eaten a meal. Because and why is that, right? Because I need to digest and process and metabolize the energy from the food that I have just eaten. If I'm metabolizing from my fat stores, then all that's going to happen to the food that I just ate is that it's going to turn into fat, and then it's just going to be that much harder to get fat off of my body. Does this make sense? Okay. So anyhow, this device helps me to see how my body is processing the foods that I've eaten. You can also do it before you exercise, and then about a half an hour after you've finished exercising. Why don't you want to do it immediately after you stopped exercising? Because your heart rate is still up. You're still, your body hasn't kind of recovered from the workout, and you're not going to get a good reading that way. But a half an hour after, when everything is kind of settled down, did you burn through your carbohydrate stores that you have in your body? Did you use your glycogen, and did you burn all of that up? And so now you are back into a fat burning state, right? So these are kind of the goals. And so it helps me to fine tune what I'm doing, what works, what doesn't, how my body, if I kind of, it tells me in the morning, okay, based on what happened yesterday, here is the suggestions for what we think that you should do. And so, like, for example, today, I'm just getting my little notebook here. So today, I woke up in a number 1. Yay, I was so excited, right? I woke up in a number 1. I did one workout yesterday, kind of a lighter workout, but I did do a workout yesterday. And I hit all of my numbers. I ate the number of carbohydrates and fat and protein that the Lumen told me to do. And so amazingly, it all worked, right? The Lumen is guiding me in what to do, and it worked. And I woke up in the number 1. So then I say, okay, well, here's my plan for today. I'm going to do 2 workouts today. And I'm dressed as soon as I'm finished with this, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do some weightlifting. Okay. So I'm going to do weightlifting today for about 45 minutes, and I tend to do, really hard weights with very minimal rest. I really bounce. I'm that person bouncing between the stations. I'm not resting. I'm not, just kind of hanging out and occupying space on a machine. As soon as I'm done with, the 10, 12 repetitions, I'm going to the next machine, and then I'm working that, and then I'm going back to the first one. So like I have very minimal rest. I'm working out really, really hard. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm also going to I have like this dancing thing, and I'm just going to mention what it is that I'm doing. It's kind of an older system. Maybe it's like, 3-4 years old. That's fine. So I ordered this. It's called Figure 8. And there's like 10 different workouts that are on here. And and it's butt hard. It kicks your ass, okay? But you're doing like a Latin dance, sort of, not quite Zumba, sort of more intense than Zumba, a little more dance oriented than Zumba, with a focus on your midsection and doing Latin dancing, doing the figure eights as I'm doing it, right, with my body, and doing all the stuff with my hands, and I'm pretending I'm Shakira and whatever it is that I'm doing during my workout. And so when I'm doing the dancing, I'm doing this one. Okay. So, and I make no commission off that, right? If that works for you, if you like to dance, and you really want something that's going to kick your butt, I suggest that. Okay. So that's what I told Lumen. I'm going to do weightlifting. I'm going to do my dancing. And, so it's about an hour and 45 minutes total of 2 different workouts. And then it gave me a plan based on, what happened yesterday. And the other thing is, it also knows like what you've eaten over the last 3 to 4 days, because what you've eaten over the last 3 to 4 days affects you today. Okay. So knowing all of that information about me, it gave me a plan, and it said, okay, Rachel, today you're going to eat 150 grams of carbohydrates. You're going to have 110 grams of fat, and you're going to have 138 grams of protein. So when it kind of all shakes itself out, it's, on a daily basis, I'm like 60 to 80% fat, which I never would have done. Remember, I was doing like 40, 30, 30, right? 40% carbohydrates, 30% fat, 30% protein. So what Lumen has been telling me to do, based on my weight, based on my goals, which is to lose weight, my goals of how fast I would like to lose weight. I'd like to lose about 1.5 pounds or more per week. And my activity level, and what I've been doing, and how long I sleep, and all that kind of stuff. It's giving me a plan. And you know what? This plan is working. It's working. I have had the Lumen for 3 weeks. I've lost 9 pounds in 3 weeks. Remember, I had lost about 20 pounds over like 6-7 months. And I have lost 9 pounds in 3 weeks, just in doing what the Lumen is telling me to do. So you know what? I'm going to keep doing the Lumen. I'm going to keep doing it. Oh my God, it's life-changing for me. Sometimes I forget to do it, like before I eat, because I'm like really hungry. I work in a hospital. Sometimes, like my window to eat sometimes is really short. But then okay, I missed it. That's fine. I just go ahead and do my one after I've eaten. I set a little alarm in my phone, all that kind of good stuff. All right. So that's what I'm doing. I will post a link in my description, because I have a little code where if you are inspired by what I say and you check out Lumen and you want to get a discount on it, I have a code so that, I get a little sort of like finder's fee sort of thing, which is very minimal, and full disclosure, it's $25, right? They send me $25 if you use my code, but you get $25 off. Okay. So yeah, I mean, $25 off of $300, that, hey, that's good. And there's like, I don't think that there's a shipping. I think that everything's just included. Could be wrong on that. I don't remember, because it's been like 3-4 weeks since I ordered mine. If I'm wrong and there is a shipping, I'll try to put it in my little description here. But I had some other things that I wanted to say about this. Oh, one thing that I learned from my Lumen, in addition to, I was doing the what they call the macros, like how I split my food up. The 40-30-30 wasn't working for me anymore, which I kind of knew, right? Like if I was losing weight in the way that I was expecting to do it, I wouldn't have ordered a Lumen, right? I wouldn't have spent $300 on this device, because what I was doing was working. So if what you're doing isn't working, or if it's not working the way that you want it to, and you're not going to lose like 10 pounds a week, you're not going to do anything crazy like that. Even for me, like, 3 pounds a week seems pretty high, but right now I weigh 232 pounds. So, percentage wise, that it's not a huge drop per week. It's still reasonable, right? So your goals should be reasonable. It probably didn't take you, a month or two to gain all the weight. It won't take you a month or two to lose it. But one thing that I learned about my Lumen, and I totally learned it by accident, okay? So I went to the gym, and my plan was I was going to do the elliptical machine and do the elliptical in the morning, and then I was going to do weights in after work, okay? And yeah, and in my mind, I was like, okay, if I do the cardio first thing in the morning, right? First thing in the morning, I have more energy than I do later in the day. And it's going to rev my metabolism, and it's just going to help me with burning fat, right? If I do it this way. Well, whatever it was that was going on, like practically like all the elliptical machines were in use, and we're still in the time of COVID, so they want you to be like every other machine. So there's this like one, gap in between different people. And all the machines basically were in use. So I was like, damn it. Okay, kind of ruined my plans. But that day, nobody was doing the weight machines. So like, okay, switching gears. I will do the weightlifting this morning, and then after I come from work, I will do the elliptical. And guess what? All of my numbers for the rest of the day after I did that were better. Okay, I was shocked. I thought it was kind of a fluke. So then the next time I went and was going to do, morning and an evening at the gym, I repeated it. So again, because I do like upper body one day, lower body the next day, right? So I flip-flop it. So then the next time that I went to the gym, I did the same thing. I went to do the weight machines first, and then I did the elliptical machine, the cardio stuff in the evening. And once again, all of my numbers for the rest of the day and the next morning were better. That's all. And it was, I would never have known that was better for my body. That was better, that my body works out better if I do it that way. And the Lumen helped me figure that out, okay? Your mileage may vary because all of our bodies are unique. All of our metabolisms are unique. Our life circumstances, how much stress we have, how much walking we're getting in during the day, all of those kinds of things are different. But again, the Lumen as a tool helped me figure that out so that I can be more efficient in my workouts, and I can burn more fat, and I can lose more weight in a healthy, sustained, very gradual kind of way and make progress for me, right? That is amazing, okay? And it's just from a fluke kind of experiment that's just kind of how things worked out for me. But guess what? That's what I'm going to continue to do, okay? So that's how the Lumen works. That's what the Lumen is. It's really portable. I can stick it in my pocket. I can put it in my purse. It just takes a few seconds to kind of do it. Nobody really notices. Nobody kind of pays attention to you. But the end result is you have to do the work. So just using the Lumen and not doing what it tells me and not exercising, I wouldn't be making any progress. So I'm not throwing shade on people that I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think I'm a nice person. I try not to be rude to other people. But like there's a Facebook group, right? For the Lumen community, people who either have purchased a Lumen or thinking about buying a Lumen, and people are kind of sharing their experiences and sharing tips and tricks and, just incentivizing each other and asking questions and stuff like that. And almost every day on the Lumen community Facebook, there's someone's like, well, okay, I got a Lumen and it tells me to do this, but I'm not doing that because I don't want to do that. And so I'm doing something else and I'm not getting results. Really? Why would you spend $300 on a device, not do what it tells you, and then bitch that you're not hitting your goals? Okay. And so sometimes I'll kind of chime in and say, well, maybe you should try doing what the Lumen tells you and see how that works for you, because what you're doing isn't working, right? What do you have to lose? Nothing. If it's, I guess it's kind of like, Alcoholics Anonymous or something like that. Like, you have to do the work. You have to work the steps. You have to do what it tells you to do. And when you do, you get results. So I'll be very honest, because you don't get to be in a starting weight of 270 pounds for this go around, 280 pounds the last time, right? You don't get to be in the upper 200s if you don't like to eat food. Okay. I love eating food. Okay. I've never met a carbohydrate that I didn't like. Okay. I love eating. You name the food, I eat it. Okay. I love eating food. What I love about Lumen is I can eat any non-starchy vegetable. I can eat as much non-starchy vegetables as I want, and I don't have to count the carbohydrates. Okay. Now, maybe I've heard other people say, oh, well, they do that in Weight Watchers and they do that in some of their programs. Well, it's new to me. Okay. So I love vegetables. So I'm eating tons of vegetables. And then I'm eating the protein and the fat and actual carbohydrates. And it is a lot less carbohydrates than I'm used to. And there have been days where I'm like, oh my God, I want carbs. I really want carbs, right? But if I do too many carbs, guess what? The next morning, I'm blowing a 3. I'm not blowing a 2. I'm not blowing a 1, right? Because my body is still having trouble burning all those carbs, okay? So it doesn't work for me. So you got to do the work. You got to do what it tells you to do. And we're all human. Some days you're gonna be like, what, screw it. I'm gonna eat more carbs than I'm allowed today. And guess what? It's gonna show up, right? It's gonna show up in your numbers. And it's gonna show when you're not dropping weight, right? So I'm still eating quite a bit of carbs, right? So I'm eating, anywhere from 100 to 150 grams of carbohydrates a day, based on whatever it is that the Lumen is telling me to do, which is still, a lot of carbohydrates, divided up over the day. And so I'm not deprived, right? Today, my oldest child, he's, in his mid-20s, came to see his mother, and we had bagels today. Right? We had a bagel brunch, and I bought 2 bagels for him, and normally I would eat 2 bagels, but I ate 1 bagel. And then I had some lettuce to go with it. I had some homegrown tomatoes from my garden. I had some white fish salad. But my point being is that I still had those carbs in my life. I could still have a bagel brunch with my son, but I'm dialing it back. Right? So you got to work the system. Okay. And you can kind of save your carbs for later in the day, things along those lines. But you gotta hit those numbers for the day. Right. And there we have it. So it's not a magic pill. It's not going to do the work for you. It is a tool to help you motivate yourself, see what's working, see what's not working, fine tune some of the ways that maybe you're doing stuff. Like for me, doing the weightlifting in the morning instead of doing it in the afternoon, things along those lines. And you can do it, right? I'm nobody. I am nobody. I am just a person. I'm nobody special, but I do the work. And I can bitch about it and I can complain about it, but I do the work. I get the exercise in. I work really hard. I'm dripping in sweat when I'm all done, and I bust my ass and I make it happen for me. And if I'm motivating you, oh my God, that's awesome. But you know what? I'm motivating me. That's my number one. I'm thrilled if I'm motivating you, but I need to motivate me, because in the end, I'm the one who has to live in this, I call it a meat shell, right? In this meat shell that is carrying around my spirit. I am the one who has to live in it. I'm the one who has the aches and the pains from being overweight, or, what have you, or being unhealthy, that sort of thing. And I will get it back. Okay. If you've listened to this whole thing, oh my God, thank you so much. Again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, give me comments. I want to know what works for you, because maybe you have some ideas that I haven't tried yet, right? Because I'm all motivated to, I'll try it, right? So, thank you so much. Thank you for supporting me in my journey. And yeah, look, my face is so much thinner. My neck is thinner. I've got these necklace lines, but maybe that'll go away. I don't know. Yeah, live your life, enjoy your life, move your body, eat real food, right? And enjoy your life, and try to make yourself a better person, and try to be more healthy. Okay, thank you so much. I love you all, and have a great day. Thanks.